Tuyet and Thinh, a young couple passionate about exploration, accidentally wander into an ancient pagoda as night falls. Drawn in by the pagoda's mysterious beauty, they have no idea that they are stepping into a nightmare. The vengeful spirit of a female demon from the lake and angry ghosts from the cremation urn room begin hunting them through the dark. Even more terrifying, the once peaceful statues of gods start to deform into grotesque, nightmarish figures.
Horrifying haunting in the haunted pagoda. Chap 1. Tuyet and Thinh were a young, curious, and adventurous couple with a passion for travel, always seeking new adventures. At this moment, they were exploring a desolate forest. As night fell, the darkness descended too quickly, and they couldn't find their way back. An ancient pagoda appeared in the night, shining like a beacon of hope in a sea of darkness. Although they knew nothing about this pagoda, they had no other choice and decided to seek shelter there. The light from the pagoda reflected on their tired and worried faces, soothing the sense of loneliness and unfamiliarity in the dark night. It seemed they had found a stable place to stay, at least temporarily, in this ancient pagoda. But did they know that each step they took inside was leading them into a terrifying adventure filled with dark mysteries? The ancient pagoda stood lonely amidst the dense forest, with dark brown stone walls standing firm against time and the fading of the past. The large pagoda doors opened like a magical gate, welcoming curious visitors into its mysterious world. The dim light from candles and oil lamps illuminated the pagoda, making every corner seem gloomy. On the walls, the murals of deities and religious symbols displayed grandeur and reverence. The faint sound of the pagoda bell echoed in the peaceful space, creating a sacred and spiritual atmosphere. However, after sunset, the pagoda became more mysterious and eerie, as if reminding of the dark secrets waiting to be uncovered. Under the crystal moonlight, the pagoda appeared as an ancient silhouette, silent and serene amidst the trees. When Tuyet and Thinh greeted the pagoda monks, a young monk was assigned to guide them. This young monk seemed to carry an air of coldness and mystery, yet maintained a friendly and charming demeanor. Following the young monk, Tuyet and Thinh began their journey around the pagoda. Under the silver moonlight, the surrounding space became somber and dark, like a quiet painting of sadness and loneliness. The grass along the path seemed to tremble under the cold breeze, creating the music of silence and desolation. Darkness enveloped everything, highlighting the eerie shadows of the deity statues and ancient stone pillars. They couldn't help but feel the tension and fear spreading through the space as everything became cold and distant. It was not a place for the faint-hearted or those who feared facing their fears. Tuyet and Thinh were informed that the pagoda monks had left during the night to perform funeral rites for a villager, leaving only the young monk in the pagoda with them. The young monk, about 12 years old, with an adorable appearance and polite manners, advised Tuyet and Thinh not to leave their room after PM. He emphasized that they absolutely should not wander around the pagoda during this time. No matter what sounds they heard, they should remain silent and not open the door. Tuyet and Thinh asked for the reason, but the young monk only replied that it was the pagoda's rule. Although they were very curious, they said nothing more. As night fell, the light from the single oil lamp in their room made the atmosphere even gloomier and more mysterious. As the night passed and the clock struck PM, their curiosity grew. They began to hear strange noises from outside the room, moaning sounds, and steady footsteps. They were very surprised because there was no one else in the pagoda except them and the young monk. But remembering the monk's warning, they stayed in their room. The sound of the pagoda bell echoed, making each passing minute feel mystical, reminding them of the true presence of time and space. Suddenly, the moaning and steady footsteps grew louder, making them both feel panic and fear. But they tried to restrain their curiosity and didn't dare leave the room. However, as the light from the oil lamp in the room began to fade, Tuyet and Thinh realized that the oil had run out. With increasing anxiety and tension, they had no choice but to go out to find the young monk while darkness spread every minute. But when they stepped outside, they realized nothing could prepare them for the horror of the outside world. For the peaceful beauty of the pagoda seemed to vanish, replaced by an impending threat seeping into every moment, and the night slowly unveiling dark mysteries. As the darkness covered the sky, the dim light from lanterns and cold moonlight shone on the ancient stone pillars, creating eerie and mysterious shadows. The pagoda, once peaceful and quiet, now seemed frightening under the night. The sound of the pagoda bell, usually bringing a sense of sacredness, now became a strange echo, like a call from a dark world. The rustling of grass and unclear moaning mixed in the dark space, creating a sense of anxiety and haunting for anyone nearby. Thick darkness covered every corner of the pagoda, creating strange shadows and unclear images. Hovering figures, vague shadows, seemed always watching from every corner of the pagoda, spreading fear and anxiety in Tuyet and Thinh's minds. Everything in the pagoda became more lively, but not as a sign of life, rather as the disturbance of evil spirits. The statues and sacred images under the dim light became scary and horrifying, like the dead resurrected from the dark world.